Hi, I'm Jack Audience. Welcome back to my channel. Today we've got access to an office. Nobody's here. It's late at night. They don't want to be filmed. But obviously we want to cover who's actually employed here. We want to cover what this office uses technology for. At the end of the day, this company used to be across the road. They used to have lots of employees. So they did have a phone system. They paid by BT and they paid about £5 for it. Plus then there was a lot of ongoing running costs, which they're paying about £1,000 per month for. Since then, I moved over to this new building here, which is based in Guildford. It's quite a nice place here. We'll give you a quick tour around in a sec. And it was decided to shrink the phone system down, not have a phone system, but they still want the phone system features, but not actually have the physical phone system in theory, like the hardware sat on site, the big £5 cost and all that, all the big outlines and stuff. So what the suggestion was here to install two broadband services. One to run the data for general users internet browsing with, and the other one's to run these phones here, which is the VoIP phones. They use BT Voice Cloud basically, so BT it becomes the phone system. So there's no hardware on site, just these phones here. They connect to a separate internet connection that then goes straight back to BT, and BT manages all the functionalities on the phone, like call diverting, call transferring, ringing groups, hunt groups, as you want to call it in the phone industry and stuff. So this company, when they had their own phone system, they had the mainline ringing, and it would ring all the handsets. Anyone could pick it up and answer the call. And if nobody answered after so many seconds, it would go off to external voicemail company, which would answer it as so there's always somebody on the end of the phone answering as a proper human being. That costs a little bit of money, but something they want to keep in place. Been here a little bit smaller now. So what we do want to set up program buttons here saying transfer call to lunchtime hours or out of hours. It just gets complicated. So the easy solution was here is after 8 rings, if no one answers it, no one here to answer it, then it'll go straight off to the voicemail service, which they'll answer it as somebody there saying, "Hi, we're such and such. We'll take a message. Nobody's there," and they'll take the person's contact details. They'll email it to the company contact here, and to pick up when they come back from lunch or they come back from a meeting and stuff. So there's always somebody at the end of the line answering the calls. If there's 2 people in here and they're both on the phone lines and a call comes in, third call comes in, nobody has to answer it again after 8 rings, straight up to the voice company where they're then again human beings answering the calls. Straightforward, nice and easy. Pay extra for that service. You pay a monthly fee plus per minute call fees. Don't know exactly what the charges are because so many companies out there do this now. They call them like virtual offices. There's all different charges and different rates and stuff. So if you Google virtual offices or virtual call set answering systems, then you'll get to the list of companies that actually deal with this. So we want to keep it very simple here. The reason why we have 2 broadbands here, one dedicated to the people surfing the internet. Because I know with VoIP, if you're on the call and someone's downloading a big file off the internet, it does affect the actual call. It affects the actual you speaking. That's what it affects mostly. And sometimes if you're downloading a large file, it can also affect the other person at the end, so you can't actually hear them properly. And that's the problem you get with VoIP. As long as you've got a decent connection, really fast connection, which means you're paying a lot for, they won't run smoothly with users browsing the internet. So the easiest option was to create 2 broadband services here. One dedicated for phone, one dedicated to the internet. So if the internet goes down, they can still get phone calls. If the phone goes down or the internet on the phone goes down, you've still got internet browsing, or we can actually just swap them over to the other service and carry on as we are. Nice and straightforward, nice and easy. So this is the BT phone. We'll get a close-up shot in a sec and I'll explain to you what this does and we'll show you the equipment this plugs into. Very straightforward. As you can see from it, it's a very basic handset. It's not one of these hunky-dories, all singing and dancing. It's got an on-screen LED screen here. It's got some shortcut keys here that you can program up to be quick dial numbers. So if you've got a particular number you ring all the time, you can set them to these programmable buttons here quite simply. You've got a menu button, directory button. So directory can hold a list of numbers you regularly call out. You've got on hold, message, redial. Some of these functions here the client doesn't actually use. You've got loud speaker volume, so if a call comes in, you can pick it up hands-free. You can transfer calls to another extension here, so long as you know the extension number. And you also got a dialing pad to dial your numbers. It's straightforward. And you just 9 to dial out, type your number you want to dial, and away you go. It's so simple, all done over voice over IP, which is the in thing now. And on the back of the phone, if we can get it around, the cable's not short enough. Oh, it's a bit tight on the cables. As you can see here, it uses the same as the PC basically. So this black cable plugs into the PC. So we've got that coming from the actual LAN socket from the wall, plugs into the phone, and the phone has a throughput, so you can plug this straight in the back of your PC. So in theory, you don't need to take two Ethernet ports up off the wall. You can actually just share the same one. The only downfall is if you lose power for the phone, you also will lose the connection to your PC. But that way you can just then take that cable out, plug it straight into your PC and sort the problem out with the phone if that's the case. But if you're very short in the offices with cabling, because this was quite an old building here, so it's very hard to put extra ports in, it's great to be able to share the port. So again, that goes straight from the socket on the wall, straight to here. It uses what we call Power over Ethernet. The phone gets its power from the actual Ethernet cable, which what we call PoE, Power over Ethernet. So the switch downstairs not only supplies the data to the phones and to the network here, it also provides a power down the actual Ethernet cable itself. So devices that can actually do power over Ethernet, like IP phones for instance, you don't have to have a separate power supply going to a socket on the wall, take another socket up and stuff. Less cables on the table. This is where basically it's all put together. We have two BT phone lines here, so BT1, BT2. So one will do data for the PCs upstairs, the other one will do the phones itself. So they're just standard BT Open Reach broadband services. They're the two BT hubs, so we marked them up as PC data, so we know that one provides access to the PCs. This one's marked as phones. They're plugged into this very expensive switch here, which provides the PoE over the Ethernet cable, which is the power over Ethernet cable. So these are all the plug sockets for all upstairs and over the building, and then these are ones that the broadband connects into, and obviously this phone here connects into as well. So power over Ethernet basically what it does, it supplies a slight power down the cable to the phone, so the phone can power up using one cable rather than using two cables. Normally you would use one cable for the power, one cable for the data for the phone, but in this case, because it's power over Ethernet, one cable does both, which is nice and easy. You can plug this into the back of a PC, it won't harm the PC because there's power going down it, because the PC ignores it, so it's quite straightforward on that side. So devices like phones and routers can use power over Ethernet, saves a lot of extra plug sockets and stuff, and cuts down on the cabling as well. So this switch here is programmable, so you can do lots of different, you can do VLANing, you can segment and separate the things, but I kept this really simple. Again, it's to keep things simple. Two broadband services, one runs DHCP for the PC, so they'll pick up. The phones are hard encoded for IP address and its gateway. So you have two gateways, so you'll make sure the PCs go through the main one, the main gateway, then you'll tell the phone system when you set up the IP address to say go out to that gateway there. Then if you decide one of the broadbands go down, all you can do is reprogram the phones, point to the other gateway, and you're back up and running on the phones. Nice and easy that way. So you've got a bit of redundancy in here for the broadbands. You've got two broadband circuits, so you don't ever lose internet, never lose a phone, and you've got a switch that does all. So that way you can move your phones and your PCs upstairs anywhere you want in the building, plug it back in, and you don't have to worry about repatching the phone specifically for anything stupid. Because in the old days, when you had the phone systems that weren't VoIP, you would have to patch the phones on its own port. So when you move the phone, you would have to repatch that phone, because the extension was actually the socket on the patch panel itself. But in this case, because it's all VoIP, the extension moves with the phone itself. Straightforward, nice and easy. So this is BT's own circuit, ICN circuit, that we would originally use as a normal phone system. But in this case, because we're using all as broadband and VoIP, we don't need to have all this expensive equipment in here as well. So it's just very simple to use. We have two IP printers here. We have the Dell scanner and printer and fax, and this one's just a general colour printer. So that way, this was adopted from the old building, so they don't need both of these, anyone need just one of these. But the Dell one here does full scanning to the network as well, so full IP, nice and easy, straightforward. Plugs in the same as the PC does, then we get the PCs talking to the printers. Very straightforward. Quick tour of this office. It's quite nice. It's a very old Art Deco type building. As you can see, it's got all the beams and the wooden bits on the walls. So cabling here is quite difficult. So we run one single cable up here. So you can see down in the corner there, along this corner bit here, goes up to through there, is where we bring up the one uplink cable. And we've installed a switch. If you can see it down there, there's a switch down there we've installed that allows for all these ports in this room. There we go. This room only has one single PC, and as you can see, it uses a wall port down there, two sockets here, one for the phone, one for the PC. So hidden on the carpet. I'm trying to keep things nice and tidy, as you can see. There you go. Straightforward. It's a nice desk. So anybody into chest? Past time. So a quick tour while I had the opportunity to do this. Again, it's on an old style desk. That's what makes it difficult. When you've got an old style desk like this, it makes it difficult to hide all the cables with the new technology, because these desks weren't actually made for tech. Again, here he's got his normal PC, and he's got the VoIP IP phone as well. Straightforward. Hope you enjoyed this nice tutorial of this office. Another great way of getting out, showing how smaller offices are actually using tech and technology. And what we'll do is we'll try and get out to a few more businesses like this to see what else. We'll try and find a big business that's actually got like maybe a couple hundred users, and we'll see what behind the scenes they do and what servers they have, how they do it. These guys here do have a server they talk to, which is a remote desktop, but it's not held in the office anymore. It's actually held in a data center, which makes things much more virtual. And if they do decide to move offices, it's so much more easy and smoother to change offices, because the VoIP systems goes where you want to go, so it's not tied to premises anymore. It's actually tied to the internet. So these phones can be actually plugged in at home, and they can work from home. And also, these phone systems come with an app you can put on your mobile phone now, and you can actually, if you're out of the office, you still want your extension ring in your mobile, then instead of call diverting it, as long as you've got data allowance on your mobile phone, you can actually receive your extension ring in your phone instead, which makes it a lovely sort of addition to keeping in touch with your clients. So that's the BT VoIP. It's quite nice. So far they've had no issues with it. A couple of downtimes with broadband, but that's standard. Broadband is not a guaranteed service unless you've got deep pockets and afford a lease line. But obviously in this case, no small business can these days. It's too expensive. It's easier to go with broadband. Broadband's pretty robust. Can have its ups and downs, but we'll work with it, and that's how things are. So hopefully this is great. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to subscribe, thumbs up, and any comments you have on this sort of tutorial or this video I'm doing, any questions, comments below, and I'll respond to them for you. And see you on the next video. So thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.